Tonight is January 22nd, 2020. We're in Brachas Daf Yud Tes. Now, we're dealing with, do the Mesim, people who've died, do they know what's going on in this world or not? If you're going to tell me that they don't know what's going on, so then, remember, because Hashem asked Moshe Rabbeinu to tell Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov that Hashem was Makayim, fulfilled the oath that he told Bnei Yisrael that he's going to take them out of Egypt. So, but if they don't know what's going on, how are they going to understand what Moshe is saying? So Elamai would tell me the Yodi, so they know. So Lamalei Lamemer. But what do they have to tell? Why do they have to tell him? They know what's going on. They know by themselves. So the answer is no, because Hashem wanted Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov to recognize that Moshe, to be machzik toiva to Moshe, because Moshe is the one who accomplished it. Amrav Yitzchak. Kol ha'mesaper achrei hameis. Whoever tells stories about a mace after he died, it's kilu mesaper achrei ha'evan. It's like you're talking about a stone. Now, we don't know what that means. Ikid amri de lo yodi. What that means is because they don't know what you're saying. Ikid amri de yodi v'lo ichbas lahu. They know, but they don't care. Someone says, hey, it's not so. They do care. You're not supposed to speak badly about the mason. Someone once spoke bad about Shmuel after he died. The nafal kanyim metalala, and a beam from the roof fell, and broke his skull. Obviously, he was bothered. So no, because it wasn't Shmuel that was a shiny servant Rabbanon. Shmuel, who was a Talmid Chacham, the Kudsha Brichu Tova B'Yikori. The Kodesh Baruch Hu.
Rabbanon, that's funny.
That's
yeah.
Servant Rabbanon is a Talmid Chacham.
Yeah.
Right? Because the Gemara uses the term Serva Mirabbanon as a Talmid Chacham.
Yeah. Interesting.
I thought you had a lock on that name.
The Kudsha Brichu Tova B'Yikori. It's a Kodesh Baruch who is being sort of looking out for the covet of Shmuel, not him. Whoever speaks ill of Tamei Chacham after their death, noifel begehenna. He goes to Gehenna. Shenamar v'hamatim al kalosam yoilichem Hashem es polei oven shalom Yisrael. Even if they're shalom Yisrael, afil if shalom Yisrael, yoilichem Hashem es polei oven. He will bring the guy to Gehenna if he speaks badly about Tamei Chacham. Tanav Rabbi Shmuel. If you see Talmid Chacham who does an Aver at night, Al Tahar, don't question him by Yom, because Sema Ashat Tshuva. You have to, because he probably, he perhaps did Tshuva. More Shema? What do you mean Shema? Elavadai Ashat Tshuva. The Talmid Chacham certainly did Tshuva. Animile Bidvorim Shebegufo. That's something he did between him and his body. Alva b'mamono. But if it's some kind of money thing that you suspect him, you have to see him give back the money to the owner. It's not just that you have to assume that he did tshuva. Rabbi Ben Levi, bechav dalad mekoymos, Beis Din menarim al kavod harav. Beis Din will put somebody in cherem if somebody was mevazeh the kavod of a rav. The kulan shaninu b'mishnah seinu, and they've all been learning the Mishnah. Amar Abelazar. Heicha, where was this written? So Chitishkach, when you go find it, Nafak Dak. So Chitishkach, when you go find it, Nafak, he went, Dak, he investigated Vashkach. What he found is Tlas. He didn't find 24, he found 3. He said, Abizalzam until Yadayim is put into Cherem. Hamasaper Achamitos and Shotamir Chachamim, somebody who speaks ill without a Chacham after his death is put into Cherem. V'hamegis Daito Klapimal, if somebody is haughty and prideful in front of Hashem, he's also put into Cherem. Now let's see the sources for this. What's this din that if a person speaks sort of behind the back of the Chacham after they die, that he gets put into Cherem? This not. Hu haya omer. Halacha was a mashkin, that the din of the sota, when a husband suspected his wife of infidelity, and he warned her in front of 2 Eidim not to sequester herself in a room. And then Two Eidim report that she went into the room with that specific person. We don't know what happened in that room. There's a doubt. So, but until they resolve the doubt, he has to bring her to the base of Mikdash and have her drink the sota water. So, ein mashkin lo esagiyores velo ameshuchares. Halacha was stated that if a person had married a convert or a Eved Kanani who had been freed, who was also converted, she does not be brought up as a sota. The Chachamim are mashkin. Chachamim say, what do you mean? Everyone is mashkin. The Amru lo, they said to the Chachamim said to the Talmud Chacham who said we're not mashkin. Ma'aseh b'karkamis shivcha meshuchares b'Yerushalayim. There was a woman karkamis who was a freed shivcha in Yerushalayim. V'hishkua Shmaya v'Avtalyon. Now Shmaya v'Avtalyon was a nosin av bezdin. They're listed in this, in the Zugos, right? When we list Pirkei Avos, Moshe gave it to Yoshua, Yoshua to the Zakanim, then Shimon HaTzadik, then so Shmaya v'Avtalyon is one of those Zugos. And Shmaya v'Avtalyon themselves gave this woman to drink sota water, even though she was a Gioris. Omer Lahem, he responded, Dugma Ishkiu. No. The reason they did it, because remember, Shmaya v'Avtalyon were also gaving. Shmaya v'Avtalyon were gaving. So this other halach, the other Tana who said that Ein Mashkin, said, they were sort of biased, because they treated the ger like themselves. So in a way, there was a bizoyon, the Tamei Chachamim, v'niduhu. So they put him in the cherem. Umeis b'neduyov. He died without having been taken out of cherem. The Soklu Bezdin in Sarono.
Wow.
And Bezdin put a stone on his coffin, which is a sign that somebody was put into cherem, and he died without the cherem being removed.
If somebody's in Edo, do they bury him in the same cemetery on the corner like they do with somebody commits suicide? They don't put him, let him be buried in the cemetery. They'll put him usually on the side by the fence. At the same thing applies somewhere to Edo.
They put an Evan on the Aron.
But they can still bury him in the middle rather than on the side where they do for a person who marries a.
I would reserve that until we learn those halachos, because it's not brought here. Where do we see that if someone was mezalzel b'tes yadayim, he was put into cherem? The Snan Omer Yehuda, Chas v'sholom shakavi b'malhalom nisnader. That there was an opinion that Akavia ben Mahalalel, who was one of the Tanoim, had a problem with the Tils Yadayim and was put into cherem because of it. Chas v'sholom nisnader. She'ein azor nineles. Al kolonim yisrael v'chochma v'torah v'yoschek kaveh v'makala. The door of the Azor never closed on somebody in Yisrael who was greater in Chochma Tahari Yiraschet like Akavim and Malala. So es mi nodu. So who did they put into cherem? It was as Elazar ben Chanoch. Shepik peik b'netil yadayim. He had, when the Chachamim made the Gzeir of Netil Yadayim, he had problems with it. They put him in cherem. Uchshemeis, he died in cherem. Sholchu Bezdin v'inichu even gdol al aroinoi. Bezdin sent a big stone, they put it on his coffin. L'lamdech shekol misnadeh umeis b'neduyot. Whoever was put into cherem and dies without it being lifted, Bezdin soikel and saroina. That Bezdin, does skila to his own. What's the third case? A megis died to klape malo. Somebody is haughty towards Hashem. Ma'i, it's not. Sholach lo Shimon ben Shetach l'choini amad. So Shimon ben Shetach was one of the Tanoim, and Choini Amagal was famous for drawing a circle, and he stood in the circle. He says, "Hashem, I'm not leaving the circle until rain falls," and rain fell. So, Shri said to Choini Amagal, "Tzarchatalis nados." Really, we should put in the way you talk to Hashem, because he would say, "Hashem, you have to do this, you have to." They wanted to put him to cher. If it wasn't for the fact that you're Choini Amagal, Gazrani Alecha Nidui, I would put you into cherem. What should I do? You sort of bow and scrape in front of Kodesh Baruch Hu. Like a child who sort of is a wilde kind, but his father listens to everything he says. And this the pasuk says in Mishlei, Yismach avicha v'imecha, V'sagel yiladetecha, the happy is the father and mother of this child. So the Gemara brought three examples of things that they're put into cherem for. For example, v'su leka, what? That's the only. Vayika, there's others. The Torah of Yosef, tudus ish roimi. He was a doctor, and in Rome he was an odom choshuv. Hinig is mei roimi, and he told the people in Rome, lachilan gedoyim kulasim belele psochim. They would roast a goat, the night of Pesach, and they would take the innards and wrap it around the neck. This is the way they served in the Beis Hamikdash. So they were upset that Tudus did this because it made it look like shchutei chutz. Shalach le'shem ben shedach yilmoli Tudus ata. If it wasn't for the fact that you were Tudus, gozrei lachanidui, I put you into cherem shata meichlis yisrael kotche b'chutz. So what about this one? So b'mishtatenu kamina. We're talking about, because he mentioned that there were 24 examples in Mishnahs. This is not a Mishnah. For example, Vaha Baraisihi, and this is a Baraisa, so it doesn't count. For example, Masnisin Leka, what? You don't have any other examples in other Mishnahs? I'll bring you another example. V'ha'ika, Hadisnan, that it says in the Mishnah, the famous case. Choschu chulius, you have an oven, and they cut it into parts so you could assemble it. And they put sand in between the parts. Rabbi Eliezer held that even though this oven could cook, it's been broken into pieces. So just like any other kli, that if once you break it into pieces, it's not makabel tumah. So he also held that it was tohar. V'chachamim mitamim, v'zeh tanur shalachnoi. This is the famous case of tanur shalachnoi, where there was a debate between Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkenes, that's who we're talking about, and the Chachamim, and eventually a Baskol came out and said the halacha is like Rabbi Eliezer, and Rabbi Yeshua said ein mashgichin bebaskol. We don't listen because lo b'shamayim. The Torah is not b'shamayim. The Torah is by us, right? Because he said let the walls come crumbling down. The walls started crumbling down, so Hashem was listening to him. So he said lo b'shamayim, and they put him into cherem because of that. My achnoi. Achnoi is like a snake because it's like a coiled oven. Or they sort of surrounded him with halachos, with arguments like an achnoi. Vitimuhu. And they said that the oven is tomei. Vitanya. And another verse says, Osayom. Heviyu kol tahar shatir Rabbi Eliezer for sarfim lefonav. All the various food items and other things that Rabbi Eliezer had paskin that were tohor based on this din, they brought it in front of him and burnt it. Ulvasav barchu, and in the end, they didn't bless him; they put him into cherem. Barchu is a loshen nekiya, is a clean way of saying they put him into cherem. But our Mishnah, it's not mentioned. So el b'chavta mekoyim hechem ishkachas. But Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi mentioned 24 places. Where's the 24 places? Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi medam and milsa milsa. No, he had those three, and he compared 21 other cases to those three that he had. But Rabbi Eliezer lo medam and milsa milsa. Rabbi Eliezer did not, make that. So he just left with three. Okay. Then the Mishnah said, "Noisei amito v'chilufeihen." People carrying the coffin also, he said, were potter from Kriyas Shema. Tana Rabbanan ein motziin samei somach l'Kriyas Shema. Meikar adin, they shouldn't go to the Levayiv at near the time of Kriyas Shema because they're going to get into these problems where people are not going to read Kriyas Shema. However, im ischilu ein mafsikin. They start already, we're not mafsik. What says Eini? Rav Yosef avku somach Kriyas Shema. They took Rav Yosef out and buried him near Kriyas Shema. How come you say ein motziin samei? Adam choshev shiny. Adam choshev like a big Rosh Yeshiva is different. Then we said those shalifnei hamita who haven't carried yet, v'shlachar hamita, those who have carried already. Ton rabbanon, ha'oskim behesped. So people are giving the eulogy. Zman shameis mutar lifneihem. So when the mace is in front of them, nishmotin echad b'korin. One by one they go out and read. So not all of them go out at a time. Ein hameis mutar lifneihem. If the mace is not in front of them, hein yoshvin v'korin. The rest of the people actually sit together and read Kriyas Shema. The who, meaning the Ovel, Yoshe v'domen. he sits quietly, because he's potter. Hey, mom, dim is palim. They daven shmon esrei. Who are medu matzik lavs adin? He says siddik adin. V'oimer, ribona olamim. He says harbecha tosi l'fanecha. I've sinned greatly in front of you. V'lo nifras many echomi, and you haven't punished me 1 out of 1,000. Yirasnu v'fanecha Hashem Elokeinu, shetigdor pirtzosenu. You shall sort of fence in the opening. U'pratzis kolam chabei Yisrael barachmim. So, Abai didn't agree with him saying that. Person shouldn't say this. What the guy's going to say, you know what, I've sinned a lot and you haven't punished me enough. So, okay, the Satan will jump right in and start punishing him. That's called, al tiftach pel satan. Don't open your mouth to get the Satan thinking. So this is a perfect example of it. He shouldn't say it. On Rav Yosef, Mikra, Shenemar kimat kisdom ayinu. Right? We almost became like the people of Sdom. Mahadalu, Novi, Shimud Varshem, K'tzinei Sdom. They immediately listen, O generals of Sdom, this is how I'm going to punish you. So you see, he mentioned it, so immediately they jumped on it. Then we say, Korvus HaMeis v'chazru, they buried the mace, now they came back. So we said, Im Yicholun lahaschil, if they can start Kriyat Shema of the Ligmor Kula, then they should do it. But if they can only finish Aval Perek Echad or Posek Echad, lo. If they can only start and finish one, they shouldn't start in the first place. V'reminu, I'll ask your kasha. It says, Kovru Sameis, they buried the mace for Chazru, and they came back. Im Yichol Maschil v'Ligmor, Filu Perek Echad or Posek Echad. So this is a steer to the halach we just said, that even if you could only finish one perek, you should start. Achanami Kamar. That is exactly what it said. Im Yichol Maschil v'Ligmor, Filu Perek Echad or Filu Posek Echad. Ad shelo higia l'shura yaschilu. It means if he can finish this, and before he gets to the shura, then they can start. But the imlav, if the shura is going to start before lo yaschilu, they should not start and miss the shura. You know, the shura is the parallel lines that the other walks through, and you menachim. Then we said when you're in those lines, andim b'shur, we said those that are on the inner side are potter, those on the outside are chayiv. Ton rabbanon shura haro pnima ptura. The ones that are on the inside are potter. V'shein haro pnima chayavis. Rabbi Yehuda Omer haboy machmas ha'ovel also ptur machmas atzman. Excuse me, haboy machmas ha'ovel ptur. Those that come to the shura because of the ovel are also potter. Those are kamachmas atzman, just sort of to be a looky-loo. Not the kovid, the roast. You want to see what's going on. They certainly are chayiv to read Kriyat Shema. Omid Amarab, Amotzi Klein Bevigdo. You have a Talmid Chacham walking in the street. This is the sugya here of Kavod Abrius is doicha, whether it's doicha lavim min ha'Torah or lamid Rabbana. That means the kavod of a person, human dignity. So a person's walking in this street, and all of a sudden he realizes that he's wearing shatnez. Now if he takes it off, it's embarrassing. He's naked. He's wearing a T-shirt, or whatever. So you still should take it off. Afilu b'shuk. And this is the principle. My timer. Ein chochma ve'in tvuna ve'in netzlein Hashem. There's no chochmas for Hashem. There's a din, and Kavod Abrius doesn't override it. Kol makom sheyesh chilul Hashem, ein chokin Kavod l'rav. If chilul Hashem is involved, and wearing shadis is a chilul Hashem, so that even if it's the
But that's something, how's anybody going to know that you're wearing shatnez? Nobody knows you wear shatnez. It's not apparent.
Yeah.
it's still a chilul Hashem to walk around with shadis.
If nobody knows what it is, chilul Hashem is like vis-a-vis other people.
The kavod of the Rav falls away when there's if somebody is going to mamish wear shatnez, he's being oiver the word of Hashem, and so it's not. It may not be a mechal Hashem b'tzibur. It's not chilul Hashem b'tzibur, but it's a chilul Hashem. It's you commit an avera, and you cannot not commit an avera when kavod abrius, even though kavod abrius is kavod abrius doesn't allow you to violate an avera.
I understand what you're saying, but the chilul Hashem has got to do vis-a-vis other people.
No, that there's sometimes chilul Hashem b'far hesia, and sometimes it's not, Chil Hashem isn't always before Hesya. So, for example, Maris Ayin has to be seen by other people. Otherwise, there's no Maris Ayin. Yet, though we say even Bechedre Chadorim, there's Maris Ayin, even if by yourself. So it's the same concept. So now we're going to have a huge sugya here, Meisvei. Kovru za mace. Right? They buried the mace. V'chazru, they came home. V'lifteim beis drachim, there are two ways to go home. Achas toher v'achas tmeya. One is a tahora way, one is a tmeya way. Ba b'tohera, ba nima b'tohera. If the ovel goes on the route, the tahor route, so everybody follows and goes on the tahor route. Ba b'tmeya, so there's a din that you have to be malata him. Ba nima b'tmeya, mishum kvoda. Now, why? So here it looks. You're supposed to, a Kohen certainly supposed to avoid tumah. And here it doesn't say that a Kohen is exempt from this. But we're all going to become tummy now. So why don't we say, why should we become tummy? Ein chochma vein tefun with neged Hashem. Just because of koved abrius, we should not become tummy.
But in this case, the Kohen doesn't fit because he wouldn't have gone to the cemetery anyhow. Right? Unless he was waiting for them outside.
He waits for them outside, and now he has to go along with him. Now why? We should say, in chochma vein tefuna, he should avoid tumah, just like koved abrius, we didn't violate the Torah for koved abrius. We shouldn't. Here it looks like we're violating the Torah because we're making people go into tumah just because of koved abrius. Right? A lema, we should also say, in chochma vein tefuna, tirgma vava, bebeisa pras terabon. So the Gemara now is going to find all these answers. Really, we're not talking about a doraisa. We're not talking about a mitzvah doraisa that he's over. He's over Rabbanon. And the Rabbanon did not goizer in these cases. By koved abrius, it falls away. Now, a besa pras is where they knew that a corpse was buried in this field, but they've plowed it under. So most likely it's smaller than the shear. So really, it's not Tomei. The Chachamim made a gzeira there. So by koved abrius, they let the gzeira go away. Right? He can get on his hands and knees and blow. And then any bone fragments are there, blown away, and you can walk through the field without any problem. You only do that in a drabonon dikadin. Bar Ashi between the Rav Beis HaPras Shenidish Tor, that if the Beis HaPras was plowed under, it's completely Tor. Toshma, Dam Rav Elazar Bar B'Tzadik. Medalgin Hayinu, Al Gabi Aroin Shel Mesim, Likras Malchi Yisrael. So there was a special din. There's a mitzvah to go see a Melech Yisrael, and even a non-Jewish king like Queen Elizabeth, because you want to see how great a Jewish king is over a non-Jewish king. Mm-hmm. But they would even, let's say, to get to the king, they have to jump over a cemetery, even a kohen. Mm-hmm. The Gemara says a kohen would jump over the cemetery as well, make himself tamei, right? Lo likras malchei Yisrael, v'vod amru ela afil likras malchei akum. Shem yizkeh, if you're zocheh to see the king, yavchin b'malchei Yisrael malchei akum. So freit the Gemara mai. So why is the kohen becoming metame here? Because of the dignity, the dignity of this king. There's no chochmas by Hashem, and he should avoid becoming tamei. So the Gemara says, well, it's not bedoraisa the ketuma. Kideravad amarava dvar Torah oil kol shesh b'chalal tofech choitzes b'fnei atuma. So if there's a corpse in this room, so everything in this room is tumas oil.
Right.
Now, if you put a mace in a coffin and there's a space of at least a tefach between the body and the top of the coffin, so that prevents tumah from going up lamalo. Now, if there is no halal tefach, there's no space of at least tefach, then it goes up l'shamayim. So, if the person's been buried and you walk over it, it's going to go up to shamayim unless there's a halal tefach. So, we bury people. There's usually a halal tefach, and therefore the tumah really maker adin doesn't go up.
So this whole thing about flying over a cemetery does not really apply.
Well, no, it does apply because it depends. If you don't use a coffin,
Oh, but
you just
that's
put
right.
a goof in the body. There's no
Yerushalayim.
halal tefach.
Yeah, in Yerushalayim, then you use a coffin.
Then it
Is
would
that
be.
correct?
It would be. Yeah, but it was in Tel Aviv. The Lord, it was not a Yerushalayim problem. It was
But
a
in Tel
cemetery
Aviv, but in Tel Aviv,
They don't use a coffin either.
Tel Aviv, they don't use a coffin. Nowhere in Israel they use a coffin.
They don't know where.
So that's the
Oh,
problem.
Oh, okay.
So we're not, so here,
But
because,
they do put a balato, like a
Cement,
tile,
yeah,
a
cement thing
white
over,
tile
yeah, over,
between
yeah.
the body. They put tiles on the side and then a tile on the top. So there is a tile covering the body. The question
so
is
maybe
how-
there's a halal
it's
tefach.
probably a
Tefach.
tefach in between.
Uh-huh,
It's not like the earth doesn't go directly on the body.
The Omer Rav Dvar Torah oil kol sheyesh bo chalal tefach choitzes v'nei atuma. V'she'ein bo chalal tefach ein choitzes v'nei atuma. V'roi v'aroi nois, most coffins yesh ben chalal tefach. And really, me'ikar adin, these cemeteries, there's no tumah there. It's only chacham made a gzeira gazra sheyesh ben mishum she'ein behem. But mishum kavod malachim like gazra, the gzeira falls away because of the dignity of the king. But there's no raya from here that kavod abrius is doicha ador raisa dikadin. That's what we've been trying to do. We've not been successful so far. Toshma. Gadol kavod abrius shedoichas lo yisaseh shebetoyra. So it says beferish. Kavod abrius is doicha Allah minat Torah. V'amai. Why don't we say lemein chochmein tvun v'nitzel neged Hashem? Tirgum Rav Bar Shva Kamed Rav Kana. This is not a regular lav. It's belav de lo sasur. Right? It says lo sasur yaminu small. If the rabbis tell you something, don't veer right or left. So first of all, achich walei. So they laughed at lav de lo sasur. It's doraisa here. It's still doraisa. Oh, Rav Kana, what do you mean? Gavar Rabba Ramilsa lo tachik walei. A great man said a vort. Don't smile on him. Kol mili drabonon aspachinu alav de lo sasur. That all rabbinic law was leaned on to this pasuk of loy sasur. So that's what it means. That really kavod abrius is doicha drabonans only, not a doraisa. Toshma. Now it says v'salam tameha. Let's say we have a din that if you find a lost object in the street, you have to find it and give it back to the person. But then the Torah says v'salam tamehem. Sometimes you can make yourself nish visidik, right? Like you can make yourself invisible. That means sometimes you don't have to go out of the way to find the object and give it back. What's this? Okay, it says, Imhaya koyin, v'hi b'beis hakvaros. Kohen is walking by the cemetery. He sees a lost object in the cemetery. Is he required to go in there and get it? No. Because the Torah says he's salamta. He's allowed to close his eyes. It's only because of that. Let's say he's an old man and there's something in the street for him to pick up. It's not a covet for him to pick it up. Let's say he has more work than his friend. Let his friend do it because he's got less work. So the Torah says you can close your eyes. What do I mean? We have this principle in Chochmah ve'in tefuna ve'in etzel neged Hashem. If you have a din of Hashavas Aved, you have to do Hashavas Aved no matter what. So the Gemara says, "Shiny hasam tichsivi salam temehem." So the Torah says you can. The Torah gives you the reshus for kavod abrius to avoid it. So here it looks like we have an example of kavod abrius that pushes aside the mitzvah say of returning a lost object. Creating more of a ligmer minei. Fine. So let's learn bebinyanav from here to other mitzvahs. Morris says no. To learn out isura mimamona lo yalfinan. This is a monetary case. Returning a lost object is mumminus. To learn out various dinim regarding isurim, you can't learn from mumminus. Toshma says a nazir can't go to a funeral. And it lists who they can't go to. And it lists V'lachosa. It also lists his sister that he can't go to. Now, Mat Talmud Loimer, what do you learn? Because it already says you can't go, don't go Lameis, and then it lists all these family members. It seems repetitious. Mat Talmud Loimer, what are we learning? Sharei halach lishchotes pischo v'lomelos b'no. Now, what is unique about going to Shechter Korban Pesach or getting Milah? They both are chayiv kores if you don't do that mitzvah. Person's on his way to Shechter Korban Pesach. V'shama shemeis lo meis. Now he heard somebody in his family died. The problem is like this: if he goes to the funeral, He's
Yeah,
not gonna be able to go do the Korban Pesach because he
Right.
can't do the Korban Pesach, but Tumah. Yachol, Yachzor v'Yitame. I might think you could go ahead and be Metame. Amrit lo Yitame. So we're told in that pasuk, don't be Metame. So Yachol kashem shem Metame lahem. Kachenu Metame l'meis mitzvah. Let's say you have a corpse in the street, nobody's burying it. That's called a meis mitzvah. Talmud Lomer v'lachoisei. Lachoisei hu de'enim Metame. Ava Metame hu l'meis mitzvah. So you are, even if you were going to the Shech the Korban Pesach, and there's a Meis Mitzvah, you have to become Tomei and work with the Meis Mitzvah, even though you're not going to do the Korban Pesach. For example, my Leimein Chochma Vein Tvun Vein Etzel Neged Hashem. It's only there, Shiny Hosam Dechsiv Lachoisa, because there's a pasuk. I Veligmer Minei. So let's learn from there to other dinim. No, Shev Al Taisa Shani. He's not actively uprooting, meaning by going to the he's not actively not doing the Korban Pesach. Memela, because he goes to the funeral of the Meis Mitzvah, the sister, so then he's tamei. So he's violating the Korban Pesach by Shev Al Taisa, by not doing it. But that's like us not shaking the lulav on the first day of Sukkot. Sukkot is when it falls on Shabbos, which Chacham give you the right to do b'shev al taisa, even though it's a mitzvah saseh d'oraisa. How come we're not doing it? I'm saying shev al taisa.
You could also say that in this case that the Korban Pesach is a second chance, whereas burying the mess is one time.
But you don't have a second. For example, if you're not mal, so everyone in your chaber has to be gemalt. So there's no Pesach Sheni from absent mila, because you're an Ariel. So Johnny is good, but that's by Tumah. But it gave you this, the second choice doesn't give you. Tosfos has there's an interesting Tosfos. It's a bit long, so we won't do it now, but it's worth learning this Tosfos.
Oh, yeah.